It sounds like a capital idea. Who would not want to bankroll a greener planet? But for many investors, it feels more like scorched earth. Take Q-Cells, the German solar cell company, down 91% from its peak less than 2 years ago. Michael McNamara of Jefferies was one of the first analysts to put a sell rating on Q-Cells. He's here in New York from London for the Jefferies Clean Technology Conference, and he's with us this morning. Mac, very good to have you here. Let's talk about some of the potential wins in the renewable energy space. Some say $200 billion is going to flow into this industry in this year alone. So from an investor's standpoint, where should we be looking for that money to benefit?
Yeah, well, we think most of that money is going to end up in renewable generation assets. So if you measure these by the different asset class, you look at the wind sector as by and large getting the lion's share of that amount of money. Looking at the solar sector, we see that as a very, very fast-growing sector, albeit with pricing still remaining under pressure and margins remaining under pressure. Over in the wind sector, we are quite bullish there, although we do see some short-term headwinds from low energy prices here in the U.S.
Let's talk for a moment about why it is that wind gets the bulk of it. Is it just because there's such massive capital projects that require massive amounts of dollars?
Well, it's two reasons. I mean, first of all, scale. If you're thinking about a very large wind farm, you're talking about something that is 150 megawatts. A very large solar farm is 30. It is much easier to build a utility-scale wind farm these days, which therefore attracts a lot of capital. Also, on another front, wind is significantly cheaper on a per kilowatt-hour basis, both to produce and to sell. So therefore, it is generally a more attractive alternative for the utilities right now.
Okay, so cheaper, but compared with what you can get from some of the fossil fuels, still not cheap enough to make wind a slam dunk. What are some of the other headwinds you mentioned?
Well, the biggest one is currently natural gas prices, as well as the low energy demand here in the U.S. Another headwind we'd be looking at is financing. It still remains difficult to secure attractive, longer-term financing for a wind project. The situation is improving. However, these headwinds are definitely holding it back. Although right now, we'd probably point to the natural gas price and the knock-on effect it has on energy prices.
We mentioned the fact that you're based in London, and you look, as a result, at European stocks. Many of those, however, are among the most liquid names in renewable energy because renewable energy has been such a big deal in Europe for so long. Of the stocks that you cover, is there one that you think offers the best prospects for investors?
Yeah, we have one particular pick that is our top pick. It is EDP Renovaveis, or Renovaveis, for the Portuguese amongst us. This is the third...
Portuguese company.
Yes, it is. A Portuguese company listed in Portugal. They are the third largest developer and operator of wind farms in the world, and over 5 gigawatts of installed capacity. And here in the U.S., they are the third largest developer as well. We think that they are very attractive. We think that the market is currently looking at the price of natural gas and projecting that forward forever. And we think that substantially undervalues these assets.
Let's talk for a moment about solar, though, because I mentioned your call on Q-Cells. You still haven't underperformed. Is there no hope for these German solar cell companies? You've pretty much got an underperform on almost all of them.
Well, I think if you look at some of the downstream cell and module operations where labor is a much more significant portion of the cost, then I think the competition from the Chinese is going to be much fiercer. However, we are a bit more optimistic on the upstream, which is the polysilicon and the wafer making. In particular, we've recently upgraded PV Crystalox, which is a UK-based wafer maker, and it's actually our top pick in the solar sector currently.
All right. Mac, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Michael McNamara of Jefferies.